Welcome to Patty's Aquatics. Now, today's video, what I got is a review video for you guys, and from Hygger, and it's probably one of the coolest things I've seen in a long time, and that is the Hygger Smart Aquarium Starter Kit. This is a 6-gallon model, and stick around, you're not going to want to miss this one. So this is the Hygger HG146, the 6-gallon model. It also does come in a 10-gallon. Now this starter kit has everything. It has everything and anything a hobbyist would need for setting up an aquarium. Now before I get into all the features, let's just show some of the accessories that come with it. They give you a net, a scrubbing sponge, a scrubbing mitt, and then also a water change kit, which is very handy. But to get back to the features, like I said, this thing has everything. Not only does it have a filter, it has a heater, it has a UV light, it's got a 24/7 light, it has a automatic fish feeder. It has everything, and it all can be controlled by this control panel right here that controls your entire system. And this is, like I said, probably one of the coolest products I've seen come out of Hygger yet, or anywhere, to be able to have this smart aquarium kit with everything at the touch of your fingers with that little control pad like I've shown you. So with that, let's take a closer look at those control panels and just see how everything operates. Well, this is a control panel for that Hygger Smart Aquarium Kit. Now, one thing to note, this is always going to show and display the current temperature within the aquarium. It's going to show you what that set point was, and then these are going to be your touch panel here for your settings within it. It's for your light, your automatic fish feeder, your filter, heater, UV light, and this is the setting where we're going to get into in a second to show you how to set your local time and adjust the volume for the beeps you're about to hear. Now this is the adjust button. This is what's going to help you set those settings and everything within. So like I said, we want to set our local time first, and that's going to be this button. So before we get into it, anything you're going to adjust on here, like to put in settings, it's typically going to be a long press, just so you know. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to long press it. And there we go. So now what we're going to do is adjust this dial for the change that hour. But then we just hit the button again when we want to switch it over to the minutes. And then you adjust it again to what you want. So that's how you do that. Now to do the volume on here, if you heard that little bleeping, it's basically just a single press. And then you adjust it with the volume here, which will turn that to whatever volume that you like. Now anyway, next thing we want to talk about are the lights. Now the lights itself is here. A single press is going to change the different colors of the light. Now to show you a little better with that, let's take a look down here. You can see it changes the colors all the way off and back on. Now, if we want to adjust that to set that timer for that 24/7 light, again, it's going to be a long press. And now that's the starting time I want it to come on at. Again, it's the same thing. You turn this dial to change that number and hit the button again in order to advance. And it kicked me out. Give me a second. So there we change the minutes. Hit it again. Now this is the end time. We would want the light to turn off. Again, we adjust that time to what we want. And that'll be your 24/7 light. And that's a very cool thing to have as well in this little aquarium, to be able to have that ability to have that light to be able to set where you don't have to do it all by it manually. The next is the filter. Let's talk about. Now this thing is just a long press to get into it. Now P1, that's going to be the speeds, and you want to adjust by your adjust button here. Go to P2 will be the second speed. P3 is as high as it goes. P0 is to turn the filter off, and back to P1 where I have it set. Now that's that. Now temperature, this is going to be for your heater in there and how you want to adjust that. Now again, that's going to be a long press to get into that. And from there, we just use our good old dial here and change that temperature to whatever we want. It goes anywhere from 70 to 99 degrees. I keep it at 70. Now the next thing we can talk about here is the UV light. Now this is another cool feature to have within aquarium itself, that have it all built in like that. Now again, this is going to be a long press. And that brings you into the setting here, and you can turn on how many hours you'd like that UV light to go on. I'm not going to have it on now, but that's how you do it. And then it'll set in and it'll run for that many hours. Another really cool feature. Now, the next thing I want to show you is the automatic fish feeder. Now, that is very cool too to have within one of these aquariums. Again, it's going to be long press to set it up. And then that's how many hour intervals you want it to do at. So you can change it to whatever you want from 1 to 99. And then you can also manually feed just with it. And that's with the double click of this button. And you can see it's turning to put food in the aquarium. So that's the features of this thing. It's very cool, and I'm really pleased with it. So this, like I said, this aquarium is just great. Like I said, you don't need to buy anything for it. Everything that comes along included with it is anything a hobbyist would need to start up an aquarium, except for obviously substrate. You're using plants and of course the fish. Everything else is included, and they take all that worry out of there for you because everything is there for you. Now, how this really works is you got your intake here that the filter uses and sucks the water up. Now the heater is on the back side of that, which I can try to show you. It's built in back there, and then the water gets sucked up through there. It also has a water pump that pushes water out. Not only that, it also gets sucked up through the filter unit and then comes back out on the other side. Now, to show you a little bit under the hood here, this lifts up. That's obviously where your light is. And then the water comes in through here. This is where your UV lamp is. And then your filter cartridges is all under here, which is can all be taken apart so you can clean your filter. And it's, like I said, this is all compact and it's such a great unit to be able to have all these different components within it. When I seen it, I was just completely and utterly amazed at the fact that you're able to fit all these different great products and components into one aquarium. It definitely is a smart aquarium. Another note, this is a temperature probe for the temperature monitoring to see what the temperature is in the aquarium. And everything's put together great too. Nothing is made of any cheap material. This glass is really nice. This lid is a thick plastic. It's very durable. And like I said, you can't go wrong with this thing. There are so many uses for this thing. And like I mentioned before, the fact that you don't need to buy anything else with it. Now, this thing is, in my opinion, one of the top of the line ones you can find for one of these smart aquarium kits. And the price isn't for it either. The price is pretty reasonable to have all these components within it. If you bought all these different things individually, this thing would be a heck of a lot more money than it is now. And I definitely think it's worth the buck that you get for it, considering it's sleek, it looks really cool, and like I said, every component's included in it, and you really don't have to worry. So I really think this thing is going to be cool. I can't wait to see how it does long term. I do plan on setting it up with substrate and plants and everything at some point. I'm just trying to figure out where do I want to put it yet. I'm not 100% sure. I have limited space in my fish room, so I have a few ideas where I want to put it. As to what I'm putting in it, I'm not sure yet. The only thing is I probably won't be dirt, because the one thing I did notice is that the filter intake is kind of low, so it'd be hard to put a deeper substrate in here, which is okay. I have different ideas for it anyway. But I won't get into that. That'll be a future video. But really, like I said, I recommend taking a look at this thing. It definitely is a cool product and something definitely worth checking out, because, I mean, where else can you find an aquarium that has everything included? A light, a filter, a UV light, a heater, automatic fish feeder, a 24/7 light. Like, come on, folks. Like, really, where do you find that all together in one tank like that? I think that's amazing. So make sure you go check that out. I will put the link in the description of the video for this aquarium. Also, go check out Hygger's website. They have so many cool products on there. I mean, if you've seen my channel and the reviews I've done within the last year or so, I've done quite a few Hygger products, and I think a lot of them are just absolutely amazing. I think they're absolutely innovative in some of the things they do within this hobby. And on top of all that, they're typically all really affordable. And that's key too, especially in times like these, because it's nice to be able to afford the things you want to get without having to spend $10 billion to get something. So check that all out. I appreciate it. And like I said, you're not going to steer wrong on this thing. This thing is cooler than heck. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Your Patty's Aquatics.